Do you know this actress? I follow her on Instagram and I like her a lot. I think she's very cute. So it should be interesting to watch. Such as the one with, let's say, the best reviews. Because under some other podcasts, there were comments like hosts are not nice. And in another one, I found hosts annoying. So I just had to choose something for a start.
World, and today I'm in the building with Riley Reid for something like the fourth or fifth, sixth time, something like that. She's here.
I'm here.
Well, it's first try, so would be weird if it went perfect.
And I think at that time you were plotting on a baby, but you definitely weren't pregnant yet at that point, right? But you kind of knew it was coming.
When you guys had your baby, I wasn't even in a serious relationship.
You weren't even with Pasha yet at that point. Oh,
No,
okay. So this was all actually very fast
single.
after that.
Yeah, I moved like fucking quick.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, all right.
So the biggest reason for me to be nervous is that I am afraid that, like, I will say nothing at all. I will just stare at the screen. And that's all. Just watching. What do you know about her husband? I guess nothing. So interesting thing for me personally is that you just don't remember. Her husband is from one of these Baltic countries, so he speaks Russian, and now she's teaching her baby to speak Russian. I even saved her stories to my phone, where she was asking people for help, like for some channel for kids to learn Russian. It was cute. So she talks more about it here later. I saw in time codes.
All right. So your kid is how old right now?
5 months. She'll be 6 months in 2 weeks.
Right. Okay. Amazing. And so what was like the pattern of how all this went down? How long were you with Pasha before the baby conversation started?
We never even had a conversation about the baby. I just got pregnant, and so like we were dating for what 3 to 4 months, and so it was like really fresh fucking relationship, and I got pregnant. But at this time I was already like 29 and everything like that, and I was like really vibing with Pasha, and I was like, you know what, like I'm ready for a baby, I think. And a lot of my life decisions have been very spontaneous decisions that just kind of fucking randomly happen.
Sounds like moment to comment. What do I think about it? I think it's like when such thing ends happily. And something rare. I mean, 3 months. That's not enough. But they seem happy now, so... Well, next year. So, it should be around my birthday. To be the same sign as me. So, end of being 23, beginning of being 24. Such age. Like a few years ago, I planned to be a mom around this birthday in 4 months. But then I moved it. Yeah, I will turn 23 this year. So yeah, I have time. So next year, 2025, it will be a year of snake. And my mom is snake, I am snake. So I thought it would be cool to have baby snake. That's why I decided to move my plan for 1 year. Well, not 3, I need to get pregnant in August. So 8 months until getting pregnant. And until nothing leaves my room forever.
Happen unplanned, and they're some of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. Like, for example, porn was just like a super random thing that just happened. And so I kind of went with my,
Thanks.
you know, I guess just like instincts and kind of just like
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
There.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Oh,
Spontaneous, spontaneity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good to know that Americans also have problem with saying this word. And I will not even try to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Spontaneity.
No, but okay, so it's interesting because we have to like break down the chapters in Riley Reid's life and your mentality towards porn and life. Because when I think about meeting you in, I guess, probably like 2016, that, I mean, you had been in a relationship for many years already at that point.
Yeah, I had been in many relationships at that point.
Because you kind of were always a relationship girl, like even when you were like full blown into porn. But you
no,
had a
'cause
bunch of
in-
relationships
I
throughout the
had
years.
quite a few relationships, but I definitely like had like 2 year to 4 year spurts of just being single while still in porn. So like when I started, I was single, and then I dated a guy for like a year or two. Then I was single again for like another 2 years. Then I dated a guy for like 8 months.
Right.
And then I was single for almost 4 years where I didn't date anybody. And well, I guess if you count Little Pump.
Oh, you know my take on dating. Easy reaction is just a way of sharing your views. I mean, I don't know, there is nothing like to really disagree or agree with. It's just everyone chooses their own. But like, I don't see the point of dating if it doesn't lead to marriage and family and children. Like, I don't know why even call it like boyfriend, girlfriend. If you don't see father or mother of your future child in this person. But in general, like, I was calling such people friends, close friends.
Right. I mean, there was
listening.
because I'm gonna break that down because I feel like that is
doesn't count to me as a relationship.
oh for sure, but that's like a certain period in your
that
life.
was when I was in like my super just like fuck girl phase where I was like, living in the hype of Riley Reid, and I was just like wanting to like explore myself and just have fun and kind of be wild because I think it was also like I knew my youth was coming to an end and stuff, and that I wanted a more serious chapter later. So I was like, let me fucking ride the rest of this out where I can be obnoxious and crazy and young. And then I was like, okay, now I went through that for like maybe 4 years. I was like fucking around with random guys, doing whatever. It was like not really affectionate. It was just sexual.
Right, because you dated this guy who was
I had period in my life when I also decided to have such phase, but like I'm too picky, so it kept me from getting too much experience. I mean, like the peak of my, can I say this word here? I don't know. The peak of my phase of girl who explores sex and life. It was when I kissed 2 guys with like 2 weeks between them. So in general, like, it's not my thing.
A lot of that was, I think, because my ex was so anti-porn,
Mm.
and like I almost quit porn when I was with him because I thought I hated porn, but then I realized I just hated him.
But okay, so is this just an anecdote I heard, or is this a fact that he was like cool with you doing porn for a while, and then there was like a period of time where you
Yes.
didn't do it for a few months for
No.
some reason, and then he basically was like, I'm just not
No.
cool.
Hello.
No, I didn't quit. I had always done it. And so it wasn't until my career started to pop off in the anal department that he, like, that was where his, like, super mega insecurities in our relationship started to get on the rocks and stuff.
Anal department.
Really?
Because it was like, it was now starting to affect like our at-home life, because like, you know, when you're doing anal, you can't eat certain foods or do certain things.
So
or
it's
whatever.
like reminding him
So
of the
when-
reality of your job too much.
Yes, because like when I'm just regular working, it's like, oh, what do you want for dinner? Well, whatever the fuck. And then when it's like I have a special anal scene, he's like, oh, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, oh, like I just have to have this, this, and this, because like, and so it was like things like that were triggering, because it was like when she's not eating normal, that means she has anal the next day, and then
Right.
like it just was emotionally draining and exhausting.
There's
and-
something about the asshole. It might not be rational.
It's actually kind of weird. Literally what she eats reminded him of what she's doing.
Like,
Oh.
I wouldn't be Riley Reid and successful if I didn't shoot hundreds of those fucking shitty scenes, or like,
Right.
you know, the scenes where I get gangbanged or whatever.
But I'm
like,
saying now.
I
Na-
still think it's important. Like,
Right.
I still think that like if you really wanted a hugely financially successful career, you should shoot for the mainstream sites, because
But you don't do it.
not anymore, because I don't have to.
But
'cause
that's what I'm
I've-
saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I don't have to, because I've
Right.
established myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
She just talks about how media works. It's similar in any other sphere. She has name works for her, she can choose where to work. That's cool.
Still able to like slow down my work, because I had my website like Read My Lips, and I have like residual incomes from like my Fleshlight and stuff like that. So I've gotten my hands in many pots over the years. OnlyFans definitely changed the fucking game, but even without OnlyFans, I think that I would still be able to be, you know, successful because of all of the porn I did in the past.
I feel like when I first did it, like when I first had you on the show, it being like a hip hop show, that I got like, well, number one, it ended up being one of our most popular episodes, but it also, I just remember getting so much hate for it and just being shocked. Like, why are you guys so closed minded? You guys don't like porn? You don't jerk off? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? But now I feel like that's so normal, and almost like every up and coming podcast that I could think of like a group of young dudes type podcasts, they're having porn stars on. Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
any new porn star is just like content for them. They want to hear all about the life. People are fascinated by it. And I just sometimes feel like it's weird that nobody acknowledges how much shit has changed, because it just wasn't like that
It
5 or 6 years
wasn't.
ago.
It
Yeah.
wasn't. Honestly, I swear that I have a huge part to do it. And I could be like my
Deep throating the
ego.
mic.
Content with porn stars is popular in Russia too. I mean, Russian speaking, but world stars like Gia, Lisa. I like her too, by the way. I mean, I follow her on Instagram. She's also a cute girl. I don't really like her content, but nice personality. And Yeva Elfie. And Luxury Girl. But I didn't watch things with Yeva because I find her annoying. I don't know why. So it's on my watch list, but I avoid watching it. I don't know, I don't know how much you really can say here. Well, my two favorite scenes with her are with James Dean. That's his name. In one, he is piano teacher and she is student. And in second, I guess he's like detective, police officer, something like that. But I saw once something she did. She did very long time ago. It was something like with public place, and it was difficult to watch because such level of humiliation is not what I am into. It was both psychologically and physically hard. I didn't finish that one. So, I mean, I'm not into things that look dangerous for life.
Okay, so is it weird for you now because you're in mom mode? Does it feel like you don't want to be the one doing like the new Jake Paul prank YouTube video, or does some of that stuff seem like it's just got to be part of the past for you?
Certain things, like, yeah, I mean, I think certain things out of like respect of my relationship with my husband and my family, there are certain things that I will and won't do. So it's like they actually invited me to go do that, like, the Tinder video with Logan and KSI, but I was like, to me, that's just not appropriate to be doing as
It's
like a
weird
married
because
woman.
it would just be fake. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
it would be
you could
so fake.
because
Or
half the girls have boyfriends on that shit. Let's be real,
Yeah.
and are like not down to fuck anybody else. But they just go there, they play the role of the slut, and then they
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm playing the role of the slut, then I don't want to like say things that like would, degrade my husband or something like that, so it's like I respect him and everything like that, so I'm not gonna say or do YouTube videos or these like dating things and being like, oh, I would swipe on you if I wasn't married,
Right.
like, to me that's kind of like a stab at my husband, even though it's like me being Riley Reid. I don't want to, like, there are fine lines now.
Like,
well, she seems fine. I mean, how she talks about her husband and respect, it's nice. In general, I think what most adult creators do when they get married or serious relationship, they stop doing content with guys and do content only with girls, or girls and husband if he's into this too. So I don't know, somehow it is not considered cheating if you have sex with a girl. But I also think it's not only porn story to think like that in such logic.
I've been in porn and like on the internet for over 10 years. So like I have developed the ability to create a thick skin. So like I've been shamed over everything and nothing, So for me, when people talk shit, like I'm almost intrigued now at people talking shit, because when it's like so boring and like the same fucking thing, then I'm like, okay, whatever. But when it's like creative and it's like actual, like, oh, I'm kind of like impressed, actually, because it takes a lot to actually bother me.
If you read a comment and it seems like it was written by a Neanderthal or a third grader, it's like whatever.
She's a group project. I'm like, oh, so many people say that to every fucking porn star who has a kid.
But
like,
when I read a comment that's like,
I actually think it's terrible comments she receives. I often see it. They have such cute daughter. And there are all this angry things. It's sad that people are like this.
On the internet, so like how they perceive me like doesn't really fucking matter to me. Like, honestly, it doesn't fucking matter. Even like some of my family members who I haven't seen for like 10 plus years, like their fucking opinions of me do not matter.
You got that too? Lena got a little bit of that.
Yeah, a lot of my family didn't talk to me for years after doing porn, and then like now that I'm like famous and successful and everything, they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like you made something." I was like, "Oh, you didn't support me back then?" Well, like fuck you.
One thing I could say too is that the patriarchy is alive and well with how I get treated versus how my girl gets treated or how women get treated, because nobody gives a fuck that I'm doing OnlyFans. Like nobody cares. Like people might joke about it or like, want to like
This guy is doing OnlyFans. Interesting.
It's weird too because it's like people always want to make it like, what if your kid was grown enough to have this conversation with you right now? But it's also like, well, what is my life going to be like in like 6, 7, 8 years, whenever
And
that
it
might be a
depends on
real
your
conversation?
child.
Yeah.
You know, some children can handle certain information at a certain age better than others, as well as the way that they could handle the information in general. Like I may have to be a little bit more discreet, or I may be able to be a little bit more open. Like I feel like you have to just read the room.
Right.
You know, like you can't just set up a plan and be like, this is how I'm gonna do it. It's like, no, you have to read the room on how to do it.
I also just like, I'm almost 40. Am I going to still be doing this shit in like 8 years? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Maybe,
still, it was
but-
a part of your past. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
at some point the conversation will come.
But I feel like it would be kind of easy to explain to your kid that this is something you did in the past, and that it would be kind of hard to, in comparison, it would be kind of hard to be like, nah, I'm doing this shit every day.
I don't know, I think there is like some very small things that could be weird for my child to see. But in general, most likely, I still will be doing similar kind of stuff. I know nothing about this guy. Well, they say they are friends. Like, their families are friends. I don't think doing scene together really brings people close. I mean, there should be communication outside of it.
Do a little bit of that, but I do all this other shit too. Like, pay attention to this shit.
Yeah, because you have so much more to show for yourself and in that, as well as like, lucky for me, as do I. Like I have like my production and everything, but like, I'm working on a cartoon, I'm working on other TV shows, I'm working on a clothing brand and whatnot. So it's like, I am hoping that in 10 years that I have so much more going for me, not just porn. So it's like, she'll be like, yeah, my mom did porn, but my mom also like created 2 television series and a clothing line and whatnot. So it's like, there's so much more with like what I can do, as well as like what I hope to show my daughter and other porn stars. Like, you don't have to limit yourself to just porn. You could give yourself the opportunity to expand way beyond it.
Like, I doubt that Kim K's kids are stressing out about her sex tape.
Yeah.
You just got like 1,000 sex tapes.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, right?
I mean,
That's interesting take. But also, I think children of Kim are not that old to find out yet. And also the fact that it was like only once and too long ago to remember now. I think it also matters. I mean, it's unlikely that she will be ever known for her clothes brand first and porn second or third.
yeah, I've had other parents who told me they're like, after 6 months, it starts getting more fun.
Yeah. Because to me, the language is like the most fun part. It was just like watching that develop.
She just started talking, and she's just like, what, 2 days ago, she started going.
Yeah.
She never did that before, and it's like, and then yesterday, she's now like reaching and grabbing without falling backwards.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my God, you're reaching with 2 hands. Learning because like we are trying to have a bilingual child who also speaks Russian and stuff. And
Wow.
so like I remember like reading where it was talking about like, you know, teaching your kids bilingualism. Like some kids also like will grow further in language development rather than like their motor skills, and some go with motor skills before their language because it's hard for them to do like both at the same time because they're so young and their brains are still developing. And then it was saying with bilingual kids, like some people may like say some fuck shit or whatever, like, is your kid stupid because they only know 3 words? And it's like, no, they only know 3 English words and they know 3 Russian words.
Right.
But to like an English speaking person or a Russian speaking person, they may think that your child is dumb
Right.
because they don't know that she's bilingual.
I read about such thing too. So it's a difficult topic. But exciting. Actually, everything they say sounds exciting and cute.
Or even starting with sign language because they say that your baby should know sign language because they can communicate with sign, which, you know, Parker does
Yeah,
more and stuff like
more.
that. And so like we're doing like hi in English and privyet. So it's like privyet is also hi in Russian because RSL, Russian Sign Language, is different than English Sign Language. So it's like we want her to already start adapting her brain to 2 languages even as young as now to
I wish she said something else in Russian. It was cute.
Russian. So
That's
hopefully she
dope.
can be like privyet or hello.
Hopefully, like, because she could get you can get amazing jobs if you speak 2 languages fluently.
I mean, my husband's Latvian and they
Right.
speak Russian there. In
They
the
do,
Ukraine,
okay.
they speak Russian there. They speak Russian like in multiple countries, not just
That's a good
Russia.
point. Yeah. Maybe she could help rebuild Ukraine. They're probably going to still be working on that when she's a full-grown adult. Yeah. Damn. So, was there ever a moment of
Well, the last joke wasn't bad. But now Latvia, like, takes away citizenship from people who speak Russian and don't speak Latvian. So if her husband speaks Russian, they would kick him out. So good for him, he's not there.
Even like when Pasha was like unsure about dating me, like one of his best friends, who's like one of my favorites of his friends, was like, people are gonna think you're stupid if you date her, and people are gonna think you're stupid if you don't date her. So
Right.
it's like it's up to you on you to choose which stupid you want to be.
Right.
You know, so
Definitely. But does that ever get to him? Because, like, I remember reading the comments on his interview and being, like, super bummed that a bunch of people had negative shit to say and, like, just feeling like, fuck, I can't do anything about it. It's just, like, a large percentage of the comments are negative, and that kind of reflects on me. But, like, is there ever a point where that kind of...
I don't know. You know, my views are unstable currently. Well, I am against bullying people. Anyway. And such content, like, it will never stop existing.
I mean, honestly, like every kid is gonna get were you bullied?
For sure.
I was bullied. My parents didn't fucking do porn
For
or
normal shit
anything.
like being fat and ugly.
Yeah.
I had glasses. I had a bowl cut.
Yeah, I was a nice, smart kid, and girls would throw gum in my hair because I fucking did my work.
Yeah.
You know, like I was a nerd.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter what, you get bullied. And even though I was...
Does she look like a nerd to you? But I can relate to that.
I would love to be able to like travel with my kid and stuff like that because I didn't get that luxury. Like I didn't start traveling until I didn't leave Florida until I was like 20, like or like 19 to come do porn in California and stuff. So like, and then like my first time traveling was for work, and a lot of my travel has always been for work. I think I've only gone on like maybe 2 or 3 vacations where I got to travel for my own personal, you know,
Right.
pleasure, but ideally I would love to like be able to give her a more luxurious, cultured, diverse lifestyle and whatnot. Like I don't know about traveling when she's 2 or,
Right.
or something like that, but like
Yeah.
I definitely want to be able to like provide as much culture diversity.
I like to travel too, but like I will not manage to do it before having a child, so I guess age like from 2 to 6 would be good moment. And because there is no school, so no attachment to certain place. Also, I hope that this field of online schools will keep developing. So I hope my child will have more freedom anyway. But right now, I think finding school with free languages and online is not so easy. But I'm sure it will get better. Like you pay and you study at laptop. I mean, there are many options. Well, at least I think more realistically from money point of view, I think it is more affordable than hiring teacher for every subject who would come home. And also to invite 10 people a week at your home, you should have a nice home. So we will see what options are when we get there. I want to learn about all of them now anyway, and then we can compare and decide. Also, I think it's important, like, what other interests child has, how much time it needs, where it is. I mean, like, dancing, singing, painting, sports, whatever it is. So, time management. Like, when I started homeschooling instead of going to school, it was like the only option for me at all to finish school at that point. But because of my schedule at home, I had to quit vocal lessons because the music school was really busy. There was just no other time slot. And it was like one of 2 Borfi teachers I had. So it was pretty sad, like maybe my life would go some other way if I didn't have to quit it at that time. But
You like I plan on being on like the PTA meeting. Like I plan on being like super involved in especially my child's education because like I'm also like planning like no matter whatever school I put her in for like her American school, like we're going to have like a Russian like private homeschool. It's like she's going to come home from school and have more schooling.
Right.
So it's like but I don't want to do like a homeschool thing, but I can't teach her Russian. Like I can't. Is there a private Russian school in LA? I have no fucking idea.
Honestly, probably, maybe.
There
but
might be. I don't
I don't know.
know. But like,
I think there is. I mean, there are many Russians everywhere. I wanted to say something else. Oh, she said she wants to be like involved in all of what is going in school. It is actually a thing that kind of bothers me. Like, kindergarten chats on WhatsApp, and then school chat, then every section child goes to. I mean, my mom didn't have it, internet wasn't like this. there was only like teacher who could call her. Now there are all these parents chats. So it kind of scares me. It's like too much socialization for me. I'm like, oh no, we'll have to be an adult communicating with others.
Very intelligent woman. I was taking like AP classes.
Obsessed with what? What do you mean with some other parent? I think it is also possible. Yes. Well, it would be very bad. It's probably the most difficult thing about parenting, not to like broadcast your personal issues and worries and ambitions, everything on your child.
I could see the good and the bad of your kid going to school with construction workers' kids versus, you know, elite Hollywood directors' kids.
Like,
Like,
we're in LA. Like, what are they gonna be going to school with LeBron James' kid? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me,
But-
that seems like a little fucking much.
But they're also, if you can afford to have your kid going to school with LeBron James' kid, that's pretty sick.
No,
Because
that fucking doesn't matter to
no,
me.
because life is all about networking. If you make friends with important people from the
Nah.
beginning of your life, that's going to be massively advantageous to
I'm
you.
not teaching my kid to fucking make friends with so and so because they're gonna benefit your life.
But you
I'm
don't
like,
even have
be
to teach them.
friends
They're
with-
just if they're around
if they-
all important people, they're going to have to be friends with somebody, right?
I mean, yeah, but like,
That's an interesting point. I think it's something I never think about like that. Being around people who are like higher than you means having good connections. And I always only think about it as competition.
I had to do a cartwheel until I was like 23 years old.
Because okay, me
I
and
still
you are
can't
from
do it.
basically like humble upbringing.
Yeah, I think I want to remain more normal.
Mm.
I think that I just want my daughter to just have a happy life, and like I don't want to predetermine or predestine her too much, you know? So it's like I already know growing up where she's growing up, having her parents, it's like I'm already kind of setting her up into certain paths just because of who I am. And so it's like I don't want to like narrow her down too much, you know? Like if I like try to put her in this elite path, or I want to introduce her to these certain people and I want to like plan this certain future for her, like that's not me letting her live her life and whatnot. And so like I want to be able to like guide her but allow her to like live the life she chooses.
I agree. Not much fun to watch something with me. I also don't have fantasy like what my child should like or do. It's not Sims. It's more interesting to see how it goes than planning something, getting disappointed that it's not like you planned and such. Like, you can't really control it, but you can make your child unhappy person for life if you try to control too many things.
Like, you kind of have to like push your kid to take their education so serious that they could like get into Harvard.
Yeah.
But then also, if they just are not that into school, or they're just not like that good at testing, or they're just not that kid, or if they want to go in a different direction, they want to get obsessed with some sport, or they want to be an artist or whatever, you have to also then accommodate that. But I think like as a parent, I definitely want to like push my kid to like take their education as serious as
yeah.
possible, regardless of if that actually takes and they end up being
I'm trying.
Actually, I don't have opinion yet on like how serious should my child take education. Because my take on education, that half of it is not needed for me personally. Like, it was something I realized at 11. It still didn't change. I still think it was useless waste of time and stress. Not needed at all. But also it is such thing where like my personal ambitions can be playing. Well, again, I guess I just should see how it's going. I mean, I can't say right now would I prefer my child to be excellent student or average. I mean, I think being below average is a problem. But should it be all highest points? I don't know. It's not something that makes you healthy. So yeah, I also hope that like I will be less anxious about such things at that point and will not project it on everyone around. This topic of education is still something that can like make me angry and make me cry in 1 second. Well, I had difficult story with school. You know, I didn't even finish it in the end. I mean, at high school, but I didn't manage to finish college also. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't handle the pressure of the system and also pressure of my own expectations from myself. Something like that. I mean, I finished school, like, when I could leave for college, but the point is that you should go to college, and I did, but then I didn't finish it. So I can't go to university, only to some other college, but like I found only one college that looks interesting to me, but I can't afford it. I mean, it's hard to afford education in adult life when your parents don't pay for you, for your existence. Well, I don't mean like to pay for education. I mean like pay for food, for transport, such things. I mean, college where I would like to go, it would be like 6 days a week, like from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There is no time for work. The year of studying is like, well, less than $2,000. But where to find money, like, to live on while doing this? So that's my problem.
I'm also being like a crazy parent, and I've already like we scheduled out schooling like already.
Yeah, my girl's deep in the tank on that.
Yeah, so it's like I like we have a separate playroom. It's like her play education room, and like I have a whiteboard, and every day we change it where it's like today is math, and we focus on like how math development is for 6-month-olds. So it's like you shake the rattle 2 times.
Math development at 6 months. Okay.
Then 1 time or 3 times, and like they develop patterns and stuff like that and learn numbers. So it's like we are already establishing school time, and then I have homework time after, and I'm even like Googling it. It's like, when's the best time for your
Homework at 6 months.
screen time? Right now we do it as it's very minimal, and a lot of it is like we watch Fantasia, so it's like classical music, or we watch like Russian cartoons that Pasha grew up watching.
Oh, really? Nice.
So one is like Chubarashka, which
Yeah.
Crocodile Genya.
My kid's real into Sesame
Good
Street.
choice.
She likes a bunch
I
of.
love Sesame Street,
Me
and I think
too.
that's really great that you have her on.
I
that.
grew up on it so hard.
Emma is like like one of my dream goals for Emma is that she works for National Geographic. Like that's like what I want.
Right.
Even though I don't want to program her, but like it would be really cool if she works for National Geographic. And so like I bought a shit ton of baby National Geographic books, and those are like her favorite books to look at is like the ones of the polar bears and the deer.
Right.
You know, she doesn't so much care for some of the cartoony stuff. She's like really interested in some of the National Geographic, and like I feel you with like the TV time. So it's like for us, because we have our schooling thing, so it's like Mondays are our language arts days, and so that's when we'll do like the Russian cartoons. So
Keep in mind,
at
her kid
night-
is 6 months old. This is a lot for a 6-month
yeah,
old.
it is a lot, but I still want it. It's really important to me.
Hey,
Her
more
education.
attention is a lot better than like not enough attention when it comes to parenting. So I'll just err on the side of whatever the fuck you're doing for sure.
Well, I'm not like good at understanding what children are like at every certain age. Like I can't imagine what their brain is like, what they look like, but I don't know, kind of sounds like it's too much for 6 months, but I can be wrong. Well, screen time, yes, but I'm talking in general, like too much training of everything. Like I don't even know how effective is it, how much you'll remember.
Most of the porn girls, damn near all of the porn girls I know, are happy young ladies who are very, very comfortable with their life. They don't have to do anything on camera that they don't want to do. They work with the people they don't want to work with. They are extremely vocal when anything happens on set with a guy that they don't like, and they feel heard by the industry. I am honestly proud of the industry as a whole in terms of most of what I know that goes on in it. And I know there is bad stuff, but the idea that that is the majority of people's experience, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like necessarily the majority and whatnot. Again, like you and I are surrounded by a lot of the top stars.
True,
so
yeah.
like we're not going to get a lot of the experience from the girls who maybe came in for 3 months and then left, because that's the real like longevity of like, at least like when I started porn. I know it's so different now, so I'm not really sure, but like when I started, it was like a girl's career lasted 3 months, you know, and then they were off going back to like real life or whatever. And so like I don't know a lot of those girls' stories. I don't know how it affected them. I don't know about their personal well-being and like what they're doing now. And so it's like I know that there are lots of girls and men who get into it and it's just not for them. Like I said, what I'm just really sad about is that those two specific girls have such huge audiences and they don't navigate the conversation about it being specifically about them, and that they kind of generalize it as a whole that porn is just bad altogether, which I don't think is fair, because everyone has different perspectives, different feelings, different lifestyles, different kinks and pleasures. And so it's like, yeah, maybe someone like Lana Rhoades didn't enjoy it and this wasn't the career that was meant for her, but someone like Riley Reid is so fucking grateful and so happy with this career.
I think in general, like adult industry is now, it is too full and competition is too high, like in everything, on every platform, whatever type of content it is. So I think going into it, like I think it's worth it only if you can like say that you would be okay with such stuff on the internet and that you will get 0 for it. If you still want to do it, knowing the chances that you will earn 0 are high, then you can try. But any high hopes is very bad start.
And it's like I can kind of see the argument from the other side as well, in the sense of like, you know, we don't really do anything spontaneous on set, in the sense of like, you know, we're never going to be like, hey, let's do anal. Hey, let's do bondage. Let's whip each other.
I've been
you know,
put on in situations like when I did David Dobrik's YouTube video. He has a camera on me and he goes, He's like, oh, do you think my friend Dom is hot? And I was like, yeah, he's cute. He's like, would you kiss him? And I was like, yeah, I'd kiss him. He's like, would you kiss him right now? And I was like, ooh, I'm under a little pressure. I wouldn't naturally kiss him, but
Финек, что ты делаешь? Финик, успокойся.
like, okay, sure. And I'm playing up Riley Reid, so like maybe I'm not actually attracted to this guy, but I'm filming a video and I'm like, yeah, he's hot.
Because that was the one where you acted like you were gonna bang him, right? And then you
Yes,
didn't do it, right?
I didn't even want to.
But is it presented like you did in the video?
Yeah, well, so the whole video is presented, and it was like under so much pressure because I'm in a room of like 12 people playing up this Riley Reid persona, filming this David Dobrik video, and he's like this like icon person. So that he's like, will you kiss him? I'm like, yeah. Will you kiss him right now? Yeah. Okay, kiss him. And I'm like, okay, I kiss him. Like I didn't really want to, but like whatever. I fucking done so much shit.
That sounds sad.
Don't fucking care. So I kiss him, and then he's like, would you fuck him? And I was like, yeah. Again, playing up Riley Reid persona.
Right.
And then he's like, would you fuck him right now? And I was like, and then they were like, okay, like let's go into the room. And they basically like pushed me into a room with
Успокойся. Успокойся, пожалуйста, Финик.
him, and he starts like talking to me about wanting to do stuff and everything, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I asked him, I was like, when's the last time you were tested? And they were also talking about how he just had a threesome like the night before or something.
Right.
And he was like, I haven't been tested in like 3 weeks or something. And I was like, well, I'm definitely not fucking you because I shoot for, companies. And this time I was still actively shooting. I was like, if you have chlamydia and you give it to me, then I'm going to give it to so-and-so, and so-and-so is going to give it to them. And that, like,
And
it's
thank
a
you for
trickling
that
effect.
because I have gotten STDs from this exact thing where the girl's
Yeah.
just out being a hot girl, fucking random dudes who aren't tested, and then all of a sudden they're giving me and my girl STDs. And it's annoying.
and so like, and I felt so lucky that he didn't get tested because then I got to end the video on such a beautiful, positive note because I was like,
True.
guess what? He could have fucked me if he was tested, but he's not. So make sure you get your STD tests. Ding, like Riley Reid for the win. But like, he put me in such a weird, awkward position,
Yeah.
especially as like my Riley Reid persona, that I was like, I felt so uncomfortable. But like, I tried to find a way around it, and I ended up making it work for me. But like, even not on porn, I was put in this uncomfortable situation because I do porn.
Right.
Or Riley Reid persona. Like building a persona is something I'm failing at all the time at every attempt. Like I can't really paint this line. Like this is real me. And this is what this other person is like. Like I can't. They stay the same. With same boundaries and preferences and everything. So I don't know. I think it's weird. I mean, if something bad happens to you, you can't really say, well, it's not me, it's that other girl inside me. So I shouldn't feel bad about it. I don't think it works like this.
Do you jerk off to your own content?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever use your imagination when you jerk off?
All the time, because that's what I've been jerking off to. Let me tell you, for the majority of my life, I've been jerking off to like what I've already done sexually, like thinking about old experiences.
My husband does that too.
But then at some point, like the last few years, I've kind of got more into watching porn and stuff, mostly because I just like meet porn star girls, and then I kind of like want to see what's going on, whatever. But then also now, because of the fact that I have all these great memories on camera, it's like, but then also it fucks me up sometimes because I'll be like hating on my own performance sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Or the filming. I'll be thinking about it from the perspective of the filmer.
Or you're like, I wish you got a different angle.
Whereas like, yeah, actually, honestly, jerking off to like iPhone footage from my girl's OnlyFans would probably be better.
But do you ever do like I personally like to use my imagination, but like with like real life people in not real life circumstances. So like my husband going and like kidnapping a girl or something like that. Like something that's like not a real life.
I'm not breaking the law, but generally, you know, I would think about, sometimes I might like put together like a fake fantasy orgy in my head.
But like
And
with
it,
real people that you know.
yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
your animal masturbation brain that's like somehow just like cobbling together a couple different hot people that you know, and like you're kind of like all of a sudden just fucking them in your head.
Yeah.
But I don't think of anything like outside of like sex. Like I've never, I don't think I like even think about like scenarios that much. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm all into like scenarios.
Interesting.
But a lot of my scenarios are all like super taboo scenarios. But I can't watch porn, and I don't ever think of past experiences.
Really?
I've never been that type of person. I'm always like imaginary experiences with real life people.
That's the reason I stopped watching porn. My fantasies stopped working for me. Some footage was a bad sign, but imagination is not enough.
I was like, everyone has merch, and I was like, I don't want to do merch because I'm trying to make bank, or I'm not trying to like just sell shit to my fans, and it's like not good quality. It's like I want to actually do a legit clothing brand that people want to wear, and like my hood.
This is what literally every blogger, media influencer says. In all the same words. I'm not going to sell shit to people. It's all good quality, so it's expensive.
Hoodies are made of such a good quality that like you should be able to have our hoodie for like 10 years.
Right.
Like, it should be like long lasting.
It's kind of crazy because
I don't really wear sportswear, but it looks kind of cool, I guess. I mean, for girls who have such style, but also it's too expensive, as I remember. Well, business can't exist if it brings zero. So I guess I don't remember how many followers she has. I know something like 2 million. I'm sure a few of them buy stuff from her.
sure, yeah, we're not making any girls' booty shorts right now for that reason.
Yeah, I wish, ladies, but you guys don't watch enough of my content. Sorry.
Interesting. Okay, maybe the girls who
Not
have a hard
true.
on for Pasha will invest.
I've done it for so long, and porn has been such a blessing to me that I want to help shape porn kind of like the opposite of Lana Rhodes, you know, like I want to like shape it in a sense of where we can be more than just porn. And like I'm hoping to be like one of those, you know, content creators, one of those porn stars who help shape porn into being beyond it. So it's like that was like my original goal with like the cartoon, is like if I can make a cartoon as like a porn star, I can help show the world that we are not limited, and we are creators and creatives beyond, you know, like yeah, I started in porn, but like that doesn't mean that's where I'm ending.
And that's that is why so many people in the porn industry get pissed off about certain girls having negative shit to say about it, because the dream of people in the porn industry for years and years and years has been like, or maybe they didn't even dream it because it wasn't even a possibility, but the idea that somebody from porn could get really famous and become an actress or a real celebrity and be able to, like, you know, spread the normalization of porn to the world, and then to see two girls who are objectively two of the biggest girls who came from porn, who are maybe like kind of spreading a negative interpretation of it, that is like kind of, it's understandable that that's disappointing to a lot of people.
And it definitely like hurts my heart, because I'm like, that was your personal experience. Speak from your heart, because I definitely don't advocate everyone starting porn. I definitely say, like, you know, I started as an extra. I dipped my toes in and everything like that. I started off in like a very like clean and easy way and everything, whereas, you know, not every girl wants to do that, and that's okay. But I feel like there are ways for you to like get a taste and get a flavor and see if it works for you or if it doesn't, and it's all individual based. And she specifically goes out of her way saying that like it shouldn't exist at all.
You know, and the fucked up thing with her too is that it's like she built her name on porn. Like, you are famous because of porn. You make 6 figures a month from OnlyFans because of porn. everything you have came from the fact that people were fascinated about why this really pretty girl was doing all this freaky ass shit on camera.
Yeah.
And without porn, there are a million fucking other girls, and I'm not taking anything away from her.
there's, like,
She's
some-
super pretty. There's a lot of
yeah.
fucking pretty
Oh my
girls.
God, yeah.
There's a lot of pretty girls who haven't done porn, who, if they did porn, would instantly be world fucking famous, and we
Yeah.
all know it. But they haven't done porn, so their fame level is kind of like.
Right now, I don't really like it what they're saying. It's like propaganda of such illusions. Well, what I talked a few minutes ago, like, no, maybe when there were less people, like, every new person attracted attention. Now, when there are thousands of new people, 1 out of 1,000 chance that it will lead at least to some money. Not talking about fame and lots of money. So not every very pretty girl can get famous this way.
Like, I'm trying to change porn for the world, for the better. Like, that's my whole purpose in life now, is like, I've done porn and I loved it and it changed my life for the better. How can I leave this world with a better taste of porn? You know, because I feel like that it has done such wonders for my life and my emotional well-being and my mental health and my mental growth and like my acceptance of love for people and everything. Like, porn has like made me who I am today as this free loving of all people. And like, to me, I'm like, that's what I want to share with the world, is all of this love that porn has given me. Porn didn't give me hate in my heart, it gave me the opposite. So it's like, that's what I'm trying to do. And so, yeah.
Well, I can talk about porn, but like more generally about adult industry. I think it's really a lot about personal experience, and it changes your perspective and your view on the industry as a whole. Like you say, all the positive things, if it went well for you, like it fills you with love and all that, if you became famous and rich. But if it doesn't go so well and you don't get any of these positive things, then in the end, like, even if you could see it as positive thing, in the end you see more and more of things that are bad and destructive for society, for personality, on each level, for everyone. So I guess it wasn't much fun to watch something with me, but I tried. Well, part about children was the most interesting, I think. I mean, for me personally, at least. But I think not bad for the first try. So maybe I will find something else later to watch. More fun.